While I was in Dubai, there was a conference that was being hosted, and this is with some close friends of mine. And it was kind of fun because every year we have this thing called the Love Coalition that Sean Bowles hosts in Los Angeles. So it's for leaders, young leaders who are doing something globally, all over the world, all that kind of fun stuff. And so they gather together. There's usually about 40 or 50 of us that come together in LA from all over the place. So we've built these beautiful relationships, and that was part of the reason why I wanted to go to Dubai in the first place. Is they're always coming to LA. I wanted to go and visit them, and I knew that God was on it, So Sean and Cherie, they came over there, some of the main speakers. Another friend of mine, Julian Adams from South Africa, he came up as a speaker, and then the crew from Dubai, the leadership of the church, and all of us got together. So it was just kind of, woo, this is fun. And I finally got to see their church. I finally got to see what they tell us about every year in Los Angeles. I finally got to witness it and be more invested, and we're just all starting to walk together in a way deeper way. So it was necessary for a relationship, I think. And so while I was there was a session, I think it was the last night. Yeah, it was the last night of the conference, and they started singing that song during worship, I'm no longer a slave to fear, for I am a child of God. And oh my gosh, you could feel the presence of the Lord enter into the room so heavy. And there's about 1,500 people there, and they were not quiet. I love that you can always tell there's white church where they sing, and then there's everywhere else where they sing, And so these people were belting it out. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. And when they were shouting that, I suddenly realized where we were. We were in the center of the Middle East. Across the sea is Iran. Next to Iran is Iraq. We're right by Saudi Arabia. We're right by Yemen. All these crazy places that are in the forefront of the news right now. We're in the middle of the Middle East, and we're belting out, I'm no longer a slave to fear. And I started going to these pictures of the Burj Khalifa, that big tower being a radio tower broadcasting this to the Arab world and to the Middle Eastern world. We're no longer slaves to fear. We are children of God. And I was just And so I knew I had to do something, but I wasn't sure what I could say, because it's still an Arab country. It's still under Muslim law and all that kind of stuff. And it's if you say the wrong thing, you're not going to be welcome back into the country, and that's not good or bad. That's just the way it is. You have to understand the community that you're in and the kingdom that you're in. So I knew I wanted to say it right, so I went and I wrote it down and I showed it to my friend, and he's like, "Okay, give it." I'm like, "Whoa, whatever." And part of I stood on stage and I started. I announced to everybody, you guys, this is what's going on, because everybody could tell it was so different in the room that night. And I said, we are here as intercession on behalf of the Muslim world. We're here as intercession on behalf of the Middle Eastern world, to intercede from this place and to say on their behalf, we are no longer slaves to fear. We are children of God. And if you go through that whole, the lyrics of that song, it's just profound. So most people know it, but look it up. It's incredible. About being brought into a family again and all this kind of stuff. It's just so amazing. So I said that, and every time I said just one sentence of this prophetic word, the entire crowd lost their minds. We're here on behalf of intercession, or we're here standing in intercession on behalf of the Middle Eastern world. Everybody was, it shocked me. And I was feeling so much power. I was shaking, and people probably thought I was nervous because the microphone was going all over the place, and I'm just trying to stand up here, guys. The presence of God was so strong. And then I said, because I heard this many, many times, that the Burj Khalifa, that super tall tower, I only hear this from Christians, strangely enough. They say, that's a symbol of the Babylonian spirit, and we have to cast it down, and it's evil. And that whole thing of wow, you've got a lot of faith, don't you? And I saw that, and I heard the Lord say, clear as day, tell them what it is. And I heard that scripture, the name of the Lord is a strong tower, the righteous run into it and they are saved. And I said, this is what it is. It is a prophetic symbol of what's going to go on in Dubai, what's going to happen in the Middle Eastern world. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. People will be able to see this from all over the world. There's no tower taller. There's no place greater. There's nowhere higher than this. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and they are saved. And I said, this is a symbol of what's happening in Dubai. Tower after tower after tower after tower being raised up. up. You will be an epicenter of revival. You will be an epicenter. And I said some crazy stuff there, which I don't think I'm even allowed to say here, just in case, but revival is coming. When we all said it, everyone's eyes went like that, and then the place went bananas. It went into just like worship, praise. I turned around, I stumbled off the stage, and I looked at everybody, and we're all just like, what did you just do? And I'm like, I don't know, what did God just do? And then we looked, and the whole auditorium, just like front to back, was just going crazy in joy and in worship. And that lasted for, I don't know how long, a long time. And just consistent. And I said, oh yeah, the other thing that I said is that the fire is falling, because I have to do everything by fire, because that's like my thing. The fire is falling to release a new, like the underground prayer movement, to raise up the burning ones, because I'm going to get burning ones in everything I do. So to raise up the burning ones. And I remember when I said that, I watched people all over the auditorium just drop to their knees and start weeping and weeping and weeping as they received a commissioning fire for intercession and prayer to bring freedom, and that we are no longer slaves to fear, all over the Middle Eastern world. It was amazing. And then the guy, oh yeah, and it got even better. The next speaker, he got up and he said, we're not done yet. And he made all the women stand up. And he said, this is in particular for you. And all the men, we gathered around the women, and we prayed for the women. We honored the women. And we said, you are no longer slaves to fear. You are no longer nothing. You are no longer an object. You are no longer a subpar human. You're a woman made in the image of God. And we all just prophesied over them and said, you're no longer slaves to fear. And it was just, my gosh, like, if that's the reason why I went there, that was worth it. That was an amazing, that's an encounter I won't ever forget.